I'm Steve Johnson, News Director of theDove TV. Watch more videos from the Dove Newsroom at theDove.us.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. And of course, today is a monumental day in the United States as the Supreme Court just recently ruled in a decision of 5-4 to legalize same-sex marriages. And of course, this is a huge thing in our country, and we are scrambling to get responses. And I am delighted that he's available, because this was one of my first choices to have on the air this morning. David Pickup's with us, and he has Safe Exit. He's a speaker for parents and friends of ex-gays and gays, better known as PFOX. He's a licensed clinical professional counselor. He's a member of the American Psychological Association as well as California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists. And he's currently a board member at the National Association of Research and Therapy for Homosexuality, and always a delight to have him on. Hi, David. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You recently you must have been standing by with your news release this morning saying that this ruling today is a setback for families. Where are you going with this?
Perry, the Supreme Court has shown themselves to wreak supreme foolishness on America. They've exhibited a lack of foresight, a lack of insight into the real issues about homosexuality. They exhibited a lack of courage to stand by principles of humanity, certainly Western civilization, and certainly the foundations of our very country. The bad news is they have led America up to a tipping point that, frankly, I'm very scared of. I'm scared of for our clients. I'm scared of for our country. I'm scared of how this will affect churches all over the country. The good news is change is possible, and the truth is still out there. Regardless of what a few Supreme Court members say, the truth is still out there, and we'll be fighting for that truth forever.
No question. The other thing here, David, is that does this open up Pandora's box on every other sexual aberration that now could be defined as a union or a marriage?
Yes, exactly. That's one of our biggest points, is that what's going to stop now a man and another man and a woman from going to the courts and saying, this is my true self, this is my authentic self, and you're prohibiting us as a threesome for getting married in what is going to be certainly a very loving marriage in which families are supported. The exact same arguments can now be used in the courts, and I think it is, as I said before, a real tipping point for so many things to head this nation over the cliff.
It appears, David, we're in a constitutional crisis. Yesterday's ruling on the Obama law is where the court now interpreted, or they took the meanings of word and gave them another meaning. Now we have today's ruling, which seems to fly in the face of states' rights, which could bring up the 10th Amendment, and the 10th Amendment is thrown under the bus. We have anarchy in this country.
Right. And I think that's what's going to be an immediate concern with several southern states, especially, certainly from a therapeutic and a religious and a political standpoint. I know in Texas, things are going to start happening.
I fear for even our microphones as broadcasters. Let me ask you this. What would be your advice to a pastor going before his congregation this Sunday?
Oh, I know. Thank you for asking that. In my opinion, I know exactly what to tell him. He needs to announce an education program for the nature and healing of homosexual feelings. The church, unfortunately, one of the reasons why this is happening, I don't mean this unkindly, but one of the reasons why this is happening, in my opinion, is because the church at large, will say, has not dealt with homosexual issues in the past 50 years. They've tended to shove them under the rug. So now we have got to speak up. Every pastor out there, they can call me, they can call PFOX, they can call NARTH, they can call several other professionals, and get professionals who are also people of faith to come to their churches and make very good inroads into a detailed education program that shows what the causes and the treatment, not just spiritually, but emotionally and psychologically, for people who are dealing with these issues. Because so goes the country frequently in these issues, so goes the church.
We're not leading, we're following. But let me ask you this. Do you think this now is the perfect opportunity for the faith community to take back sex education and teach what it is to be biblically created as a male and biblically created as a female?
Yes, exactly right. We don't live in a country that's ruled by a king. That means Christians actually have the right to bring forth in this country Christian principles. Never before in the time of history have Christians had such a great opportunity to really now, especially now, lead the way. So to get elected to political offices, to go to school boards, to demand sexual education, to, as you say, take sexual education and put it back where it really belongs, which evidently is going to be the last bastion of healthy gender and sexuality.
What would you say to parents? All of a sudden their kids are driving to school and they're hearing this all over the news this morning, and the kids are sitting in the back seat. Mommy and Daddy, what is a same-sex marriage?
It's the same message. Families need to educate their children. There are so many resources that are yet untapped by families and churches all over the country. The truth is out there. They're just going to have to get up off the couch and get off the pew, if I may say, and seek out where the education is. It's on the internet. It's in therapist offices. It's within some churches. So parents need to educate their children and do it with, may I say, compassion first, because this is not the church acting up like some rebellious, horrible society. This is coming from a motivation of love, compassion, and truth.
Boy, it really puts pressure on parents and families and churches to get a hold of sex education before puberty.
Exactly right. And to foster their own relationships with their children. In my opinion, studies and huge anecdotal evidence shows that the better relationships that sons and daughters have with their same-sex parent, the much lower likelihood they'll ever turn to homosexuality. So gender and how they learn to express themselves and relationships, all that stuff starts very, very early in life.
David, is there a division within the if I can say, the gay community? With your work there at PFOX, it appears to me, and I've heard, that a lot of homosexuals really didn't want this. They didn't need this. and I don't know, can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I am not here, first of all, to demean anyone, gay, straight, or in between. However, we now have videos. If anybody wants to go on my website or go to the PFOX website, they can ask for this video, of which there are about to be many made, that show in some of the biggest gay centers of the nation the viewpoints of the gay man or gay woman on the street. And you won't believe how many men said they turned to homosexuality and the gay lifestyle because they were, in fact, sexually abused when they were 5, 6, 7, around that age. And it formed their sense of sexuality. So the video is quite revealing. They show authentic, spontaneous testimonies by gay men on the street.
Put your legal hat on for a moment, and I know you're not an attorney, but do you see a pushback here? Do you see the states? I mean, if you think about this, most of the 36 states that have same-sex marriages do so because the court of that state overruled the will of the people who didn't want it. The 14 states that still said no to it now are being forced by the federal government to accept it. It appears to me that we could be moving into some kind of a legal crisis between the states' rights and the federal government.
Yes, and you're right. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a constitutional attorney at all. However, it's pretty obvious. A case like this hasn't been so significant since the Civil War. And as people may remember their history, the Supreme Court, before, during, and after, made decisions that there was a constitutional crisis all during those years. So now we're creating another one. And yes, I think we're going to see laws trying to be enacted immediately that counteract these rulings. For instance, in Texas, or I'm sorry, I think in another state, there's the politician who has introduced already a bill to put marriage only in the hands of pastors, which of course would restrict gay marriage.
All right, one other question. I'm going to hop on your couch. You're the therapist. I'm the patient. I am a overwhelmed Christian leader in the community. How do I control my emotions on this, from anger to complete sadness?
Well, I don't think we need to control our emotions so much that we not let people see how we feel about it. I think Christ himself was clearly impassioned when the situation called for it. One only has to remember when he was in the Jewish temple one day and he overthrew in anger the temples of the money changers because they were defaming God's house. So pastors, I think, need to come out very strongly with this. I mean, the time has come. If there was ever any doubt about it, the time has come now to speak out. So if pastors are experiencing anger and sadness, then I think they need to express that, of course, with the foundation of love and compassion.
All right, thank you, David. And thank you for being available on such short notice. It's an incredible thing. If people want to get a copy of your news release today, where do they go?
They go to either pfox.org or davidpickuplmft.com, my own website.
Okay, thank you so much, friend. God bless you, pal. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.